Welcome on into the Wolverine TV. I'm Clayton Safey with EJ Holland. Check us out at thewolverine.com. You can use the promo code BLUE60 for 2 months of our premium content absolutely free. A special thanks to Lewis Jewelers, our sponsor. So EJ, you had a crazy weekend of travel, going and seeing a ton of recruits. I saw you write that it was probably your craziest weekend as a Michigan reporter in terms of travel. So, seeing a ton of guys, because this new staff is putting us to work here, especially you with all the travel, seeing guys that they're offering, because they're really off to, hitting the ground running when it comes to recruiting and throwing out offers.
Yeah, it's been a busy time. I think I'm gonna take this weekend off just because it's been nonstop traveling. But I actually flew to Jacksonville on Saturday morning, flew out from Jacksonville that same day, landed in Dallas on Sunday. Saw some guys there in Dallas, and then flew out back to Chicago on Monday. So it was quite a whirlwind of a trip.
Definitely. Okay, so let's break down the best recruits that you saw over the weekend. Obviously, some good ones, and the staff is kind of tapping into some new type of guys. But let's start with Bryce Anderson, who is right there, a 4-star safety out of Beaumont, Texas. Just your thoughts on him overall.
Yeah, a lot of the guys that we're about to talk about on this video, you're probably not as familiar with because they are down south, but these are the guys that, Mo Linguist and company are going hard after, especially Bryce Anderson. He's been on Mo Linguist's radar since he was a middle schooler. Actually, Linguist started recruiting him when he was just an 8th grader. And so that tie is there. He has some legit interest in Michigan through Mo Linguist. He recently reopened his recruitment and backed out of his verbal pledge to LSU. As a player, Bryce Anderson is one of the highest floor kids I've ever covered. You know what you're getting in Bryce. He's very technically sound, great ball skills, great natural instincts, just a playmaker in the secondary. He's listed at, I believe, about 6 foot 190, but he's not a really long kid. He's not a long, rangy safety. He has more of a compact build, comes downhill in a hurry. Like I said, just does a really, really nice job on the back end, does everything right. When he has pads on, he's not afraid to come up in the box and play against the run. He is the number 40 overall ranked player in the country for a reason. I really like Bryce's skill set overall. He's been on my radar for a long time too, even back when I was covering the University of Texas. And Mo Linguist was at Texas A&M. Bryce was a name that was already starting to generate a lot of buzz down in the Lone Star State. So he's one of the best recruits in the South and in the country overall.
And then the next guy, Jalen Gilbo. I think I butchered that probably, but a 4-star corner, is a verbal commit to Texas. What'd you see out of him?
Yeah, man, Jalen Gilbo, you got it right. You got kind of that Cajun name. He's out in Port Arthur. So I don't believe that's him, though. I'm not sure who that player is that popped up on the screen. We'll take him off. But
Yep, the wrong
Jalen
guy.
Gilbo, I don't know. We need a new graphics guy. But no, Jalen Gilbo is a top 250 prospect. Cornerback committed to the University of Texas right now. With that staff change that Texas just experienced, though, he is looking to explore some other options, and Michigan being one of them. He also has a previous connection to Mo Linguist. Actually, Linguist was the first coach to ever offer him, Texas A&M being Gilbo's first offer. So they've had that bond for years. As a player, I absolutely love Gilbo. You need Gilbos on your team. He has that dog mentality. He's super physical. He has a really strong muscular build. He played a lot of slot corner for Fast Houston this weekend out in Jacksonville and looked great covering speedier wide receivers, but he can also be an outside shutdown guy. You can put him in the nickel. He has, a really good length and decent height at 6 feet. So, Gilbo was one of the most impressive players I saw this weekend. Like I said, he was tasked with playing a lot of man out of that slot corner position. And he had a lot of pass breakups, didn't allow many, if any, receptions on him. So really impressed with just his attitude, his aggressiveness, his physicality, and just his build. He already looks like a D1 college football player.
The next guy, Jamal Johnson, who is a 2023 recruit. No stars for him yet, but out of Arlington, Texas, a corner as well, just outside of the Dallas area there, or just outside of Dallas. What'd you see out of him?
Yeah, Jamal is, really intriguing kid. He's about 6'1", 175 is what his profile lists him at, but he looks bigger than that. He actually reminds me of a guy that Michigan recruited that ended up at Ohio State a couple of cycles ago. Ryan Watts comes out of the same 7-on-7 program, just a bigger, longer, physical kid. He doesn't really have that, top end speed or real quickness, but he's still a 2023, so he's continuing to develop. But I think there's a lot of potential and a lot of upside. I don't think he's anywhere close to his ceiling. He made a lot of plays on the ball this weekend and also played the slot corner position. So that was impressive seeing him covering guys in the slot with how big he is. I thought he moved really well. Like I said, his flexibility could use a little work. His technique could use a little work, but big, long guy that moves well and played the ball well. So I think he's a guy that's really going to rise in 2023. Actually, Michigan was one of the first 5 offers to go out this way. He just picked up Alabama yesterday. So again, I think this guy is one that's going to really boom and become a national recruit.
Alabama offering, that is certainly big time for them to get involved as well. Sherrod Koval, if I'm saying that right, is the next guy that you saw that impressed you. He's just a 3-star, but I guess what stood out about him, he is a 6 188 safety out of Virginia.
Yeah, Sherrod Koval has received some mixed reviews. He's only a 3-star, I believe, on both recruiting service websites. However, he is an Under Armour All-American. I was actually just talking to a Power 5 coach before we recorded this video. Clayton actually overheard my conversation, and he called to talk about Koval. It was just coincidence. But he asked me, did you think Koval was a twitchy athlete? And I said, no, he wasn't super twitchy. He's not super long either. He's not a rangy safety, but he is so technically sound. He plays the ball extremely well. He just has great natural instincts. He did a great job of baiting quarterbacks, had a couple interceptions, made some big pass breakups. So he's just kind of that ball hawk guy that just makes plays from the safety position. And then, the coach that I was on the phone with told me, yeah, he doesn't look super twitchy in shorts and shirt, but when you put on his film, he looks great. He looks really twitchy on film. So I think that's kind of the cause for mixed reviews is, the tape shows something different than the camp and 7-on-7 settings. But overall, I think there's a lot to like about Koval. I think he's undervalued being a 3-star on both sides. I would still give him a 4-star grade. I think with Koval, it's just about putting it all together in all of those settings, using the best of his game in each one. And he is going to have a junior season that's actually going to start here next month. It looks like Virginia is bringing back high school football. So I think we'll get a better idea of what Koval actually is. But he had a great tournament. I mean, you can't get much better than the picks he had and the number of pass breakups he had. He was, again, another ball hawk in the secondary.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't know who you guys were talking about, but I did hear that conversation. So we got the breakdown. I got to hear it twice on Sherrod Koval. The last guy that impressed you the most out of these top 5, Anthony Hill, 2023 inside linebacker out of Denton, Texas, 6'2", 210. What'd you see out of him? Isn't rated yet, obviously being a young guy at 2023, but your thoughts overall?
No, he will be rated very, very highly. He's already, a top-end recruit with a ton of offers. The thing that stood out to me about Anthony Hill was, when you play 7-on-7, normally, linebackers don't really excel just because it's geared more towards open space, wide receivers, DBs. The linebackers aren't really, a plus in that setting. But he more than held his own. He had an interception in the opening game. He was just an intimidating force in the middle, just really long arms, got his hands in passing lanes and came up with a couple of deflections. Thought he moved really well for his size. Junior Colson's the best 7-on-7 linebacker I've seen. I don't think he's at that level from an athletic standpoint, but I think he's going to be even bigger than Junior. I think he's going to be more of a thumper in the middle. So it's good to see him moving that way in this setting, knowing what he's going to become from watching his film, seeing how physical he is, seeing how much room he has to add weight. And even he said, "Hey, look, I'm going to be an inside linebacker. I'm just out here to work," and he impressed. And I think, like I said, he's going to be one of the true elites in 2023. I feel like he'll be rated a top 100 recruit nationally. And in pads again, really physical, led powerhouse Denton Ryan to a state championship out in Texas this year.
Awesome. Those are the 5 best recruits that EJ saw over the weekend in his travels. Remember the promo code BLUE60 at thewolverine.com, and we'll see you next time.